Hi, tappers. So last week I posted a video talking about how you can tap on something when you don't exactly remember it. I offered to do a sample video and multiple people said that they would like that. So that's what this video is. But before we jump into that, I just want to give you a few pointers. One, you can use this as a template to take and have your own tapping sessions, or you can use this to tap with multiple times and just kind of shift the wordings that I use to whatever fits the circumstance that you're tapping on in the moment. So you can use this once, you can use it multiple times, whatever works best for you. Also, one of our community members asked, can you tap on a space of time? Like my childhood, I felt ignored in this need. Is that possible to release? The answer is it depends. It depends on you. That part of you is likely asking for some type of validation. So if it feels good, if it feels complete for you to go, wow, during my childhood, I really felt like that part of me was invalidated because this need was never really met. And that sucked. And it likely felt this way and this way and this, you'll see as we get into the tap. And then assess at the end, after you tap on it, is your whole childhood, does it feel complete? Do you feel released from that? Can you think about it and not feel an emotional response in your body that's negative? That's something that you don't want. If you can think about it and you go, oh, yeah, but it feels okay now. It really, I feel like, it wasn't ideal, but, and there's no like heartache or anger, with it, then that's a good sign that you've released those emotional attachments. If you still feel something, then it's a good idea to go back and be a little bit more specific on whatever it is that you're still feeling. And you can ask yourself questions. Okay, so I tapped on this and it feels better, but I still feel embarrassed. So then go back and tap on, wow, that I could see how the way that was, I was treated in that, but that made me feel like I needed to be embarrassed about my response. I'm so sorry that I didn't know to help you not feel embarrassed about what you needed. And maybe that's the word that you need for validation. So just continue to explore, but use your emotional connection to the subject matter as your North Star. If you're able to view it in a way of, yeah, that sucked and it wasn't my favorite, but you don't feel anything attached to it, then you've likely been successful, even if you still don't really remember anything. Okay, let's get into the actual tap. So when it is something that you don't remember, but you think maybe might be something that you dealt with, or something that you definitely dealt with because it was just an environment in your family, or in your school or your work, your friendships, wherever, then allowing yourself to be creative with it and giving yourself permission to essentially kind of make up a story, because the reason you don't remember it is that protection level, right? In our subconscious brain, it's saying you don't really want to recall this. That's really overwhelming, and I'm just gonna keep this from you. So it's like you lobbing something over the fence, saying, "Okay, but I want to let that go. You don't have to make me remember it, but what if it was kind of like this, and this is kind of what I remember? Can we let that go?" And your subconscious brain, when you find the right bit, is going to latch onto that and be able to go, gotcha. So that thing, okay, dump, and be able to let it go. So creativity here isn't inaccurate, and it doesn't have to be specific. You're just looking for whatever it is that's going to tag that on the other side of things, where your subconscious brain is very aware of what it's storing. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of creative situation. I'm going to tap on, well, one thing that was suggested was being a sensitive child growing up. So I will use that as my example. Even though, as I consider how I was a sensitive child, brought up without the tools that I needed to support me in being a sensitive child, I deeply and completely accept myself. As I sit here and I consider how it must have felt to not have the tools I needed in being a sensitive child, I feel sensations in my body, emotions, feelings, maybe thoughts, maybe words. And even if I really want to feel these things, but I don't, I just feel blank, I trust that I can choose something that I believe is close, and my brain will know what I'm referencing. I can trust my brain. Finding my issue. Releasing this issue. Releasing this issue without any conscious clues. Trusting my brain. Collaborating with my brain. Collaborating with my brain on this issue. Even though I don't have memory and I'm not quite certain I can pinpoint what happened, I trust that what I can come up with is enough for me to have success. Holding space. Holding space for my success. It's likely that I cried a lot. I got overwhelmed. And I know when I get overwhelmed, I have a tendency to cry. And kids kind of cry a lot anyway. I probably cried at times that other people didn't think were appropriate, or that there was a reason to cry. And I probably wasn't comforted every time. And maybe I even got in trouble for crying. That would probably make me feel really sad, maybe scared, maybe upset, maybe angry, feeling really unheard, feeling wrong, feeling like I was wrong to have feelings, and that it wasn't safe. I bet I really didn't feel safe. As I think about my younger self, I offer her compassion. I'm so sorry that you felt like crying was wrong. So sorry that you weren't comforted when you needed comfort. And that this beautiful sensitivity felt like it was something that should be punished, that should be hidden, that was a mistake, that was something that nobody wants. But I'm here now, and I want it. I think it's beautiful, and I want to show up and support this sensitivity. And I support you crying every time you feel you need to. And if in the moment isn't a safe place, then I will hold you until we can be safe to cry. And then I will show up for you in that space. And I hope that me offering this now can be enough for you to let go of that weight, this weight that you've carried for so long, the weight of being hurt, of being unheard, being scared, of being angry, of feeling unworthy. That sucks that that happened. And I'm sorry that it happened. But we have better tools now. And it doesn't have to be our truth anymore. It doesn't have to be our definition anymore. It's okay to let that go. And it is safe to see differently and to choose differently. I've made a safe place for you to be. And it is okay to be sensitive now. As I offer my younger self these situations of being sensitive that was tagged as overly sensitive, held space for my body to release any and all negative emotions that were tied to that. And I give myself permission to instead put in those places the beautiful truths that I have found, which is being sensitive is healing and it's helpful in connecting with other people. And it's meaningful to have. And it's a gift. It's actually a sign of strength to be able to hold space for big emotions like that and not close down and not become harsh and distant. I believe I am strong. I believe I'm caring and loving. That while my emotions still need consideration, because I absolutely still am very sensitive, it's a beautiful part of me. I would never change that. My sensitivity as a child, my sensitivity as an adult, loved, respected, desired, beautiful, courageous, special. And as I accept these changes and receive these positive words of truth, I deeply and completely accept myself. And now that we've done that tapping, we want to check back in and think, back in my childhood, I was really treated poorly for being so sensitive. See if that pings anywhere, or if you have that radiating sense of just all of the worth that you just expressed about that sensitivity. If you have something that says, oh yeah, I felt really lonely. We didn't tap about feeling lonely. Then that's your brain saying, okay, you did a good job, but here's something else. So then you go back and you tap on that. Or if you check in and you go, yeah, but now, and you just feel solid and complete, then there's a really good chance that you tapped on it enough for it to be gone and it's no longer an issue for you. One other question that was brought up that I did forget to address before, sometimes I tap a lot on just the hand, and sometimes I go through all of the points. You only need one point. So you can receive a full, complete session of EFT by releasing from one point only. So if there are points that are uncomfortable for you, if it's overstimulating to be on your face, it's okay. You don't have to force yourself through those points. My personal differentiation, when I am tapping and it's emotional and I'm using a lot of brain power to really dive in and connect, particularly if I'm tapping by myself and I don't have someone leading me, like to keep me on track, I stay in one spot because then that's one less thing that I have to think about. And I can release myself from all of that and I could just sink into where my emotions are taking me. If it's something that is more of the affirmation side, it's a little bit more sterile in application, then I will tap through all of the points because each point does have its own benefit. If you missed the series on acupoints, you can go back and check that out and see what I mean. But that's the differentiation that I use. I would offer to you to do what feels best for you. If moving around feels better, if that feels more relieving, then do that. You don't have to follow me. I'm just here as a guideline, as an offering. If there's something that you intuitively know would feel better for you to do that. I hope this helps. Let me know. I'll see you soon.